All right, so what does financial independence really mean? I know there's a lot of people have different things when they talk about financial freedom versus financial independence. Is there a difference? And what is financial independence? And even better, how can we get there? Let's dive in. Okay, so financial independence to me means something different than financial freedom. I know some people will intermingle the two together, right? I know there's probably a better, cooler word in English for that, and you can put it in the comments what you think that word is instead of intermingle. But they tend to use those terms interchangeably, right? And the thing is, I believe financial freedom and financial independence are two separate things. So for example, to me, financial independence is you have enough money coming in, income coming in from your investments, so that it can pay for all of your bills every month. So ultimately, your investments are paying for your bills, not you. You don't have to work for the bills. Your money works to pay that off. Your money works harder for you, so you have to work so hard for it. I call that also work optional, right? Where you work because you want to, not because you have to. That's financial independence. That means you get enough passive income from your investments to then pay for those monthly bills. So if your bills are $10,000 a month, you get $10,000 a month coming in to do that. But to me, that's not financial freedom, because I'll tell you this from someone who actually not only achieved financial independence twice, but also became financially free. I'll tell you, they're not the same. Because here, take this example. Say that you have enough money to pay your bills, but then all of a sudden something comes up where you say, I want to take a trip to Hawaii. Well, if you're just financially independent and you're just be able to pay your bills, you're like, well, now I got to create more income to be able to pay for that trip to Hawaii, don't you? Right? Maybe you're thinking, well, what if something happens to me? What if something happens like the health of your family member? Maybe like somebody gets cancer and you want to take every means necessary to be able to cure them and keep them on this planet. Financial independence will not be enough. You mean financial freedom. Financial freedom to me is much, much more than just financial independence. Yes, it's not just getting higher than the financial independence number, but it's also an emotional state. It's when, to me, money is no longer the reason or excuse that I do or did not do anything. Money's just not the excuse anymore. I do it because I feel like I want to do it, right? Some people refer to this as FU money, right? But I don't think you have to go that far. It doesn't have to be like I gotta go buy a private jet or anything like that. Honestly, guys, like I drive a Nissan, okay? Like I don't drive like the freaking Corvette or the Lamborghini like some of my friends do. More power to them if that's what they want to do, but honestly, I see no purpose in it. Because one, I'm shooting videos. You don't see me riding around my car. Maybe you're like, oh, I want to see him in his nice Nissan Maxima. Woo! But I really don't care. I don't give a crap. Because when you become wealthy, you just don't give a crap anymore. That's how you know somebody's wealthy. Because if they care, it's because they're trying to flaunt something they probably don't have themselves, right? And so that's the thing I want to be drilling into your brain, is that financial independence is good. But because so few people ever achieve it. But financial freedom is a much bigger level. Now, financial independence, we talked about have enough money to come in. There are some lies that are taught to people out there about financial independence. For example, there's a group out there called FIRE. Now, it's called Financially Independent Retire Early is what it stands for. I was so excited about this group because I said, these are my people, right? Because I did it. I was FIRE. I was actually 28 years old the first time I was financially independent. And of course, then the recession hit. I had started a new business and my real estate properties. Everything started hitting me all at once. Everything was going downhill. Barely stayed out of bankruptcy, barely. But I went over $1 million in debt and I had to dig out of that hole and then once again dig myself out and create the financial independence by creating enough passive income to then retire again by December 2016. Now, when I heard about this FIRE movement, I said, this is awesome. This is for me. I joined the Facebook group because that's what you do when you're FIRE, right? You join a Facebook group. And so I joined the Facebook group and I get on there and I see it's all these people like 20, 30 somethings and they're all bragging about how they got X amount of dollars in the stock market, which I'm like, wait a minute. One, I was a stock trader 20 years ago and a financial advisor. And I already know that that doesn't work. People don't become financially free in that space, not hardly at all. And here I see all these people are like, whoa, I got 500,000 stock market, but off of 4%, I'm living on 20,000 a year because I'm so dang cheap and I minimize my lifestyle and I cut everybody out of my life because I don't care about people or kids or even my fur babies cost too much money. I'm just gonna do this myself. I'm gonna be free. Or I got $1 million. I can live on my 40,000 a year at 4%. And I started calling bull. I was like, first off, guys, if you're retiring early, that 4%, that Monte Carlo simulation was meant for people in their mid to late 60s or even in their 70s. And not to mention that Monte Carlo simulation updated in the last 20, 30 years since it came out, that guess what? It's a 3% rule even if you're trying to retire in your 60s. But you guys are in your 20s and 30s, so you need to live on 2%. And guess what the response was? They said, you saved us. Thank you so much. We can do it. No, they didn't. They kicked me out of their freaking Facebook group because apparently the one person that was fired, that was actually financially independent, they didn't want them in there because it completely blew up their narrative and their little dumb minds, right? So again, I love the movement. I love what it's about, but make sure you're following people that actually know how to do it, not people that are all talking about doing it, but they really don't. I actually sat down with a friend of mine. He's 29 years old, successful business owner, awesome, does great things with marketing. And he says, Chris, I'm actually really proud of myself. I'm actually financially independent. I'm like, that's awesome, man. How'd you do it? He's like, well, I've got over $1 million in the stock market, and I only need about $40,000 a year to live on with my young family. I said, awesome, but you're 29 years old. So that 4% rule doesn't apply to you. That was meant for people like almost 70 years old now. For you, it's actually 2% rule. What? It's 2%. No. And so he actually walked away. He's like, no, I have to save double. It means I have to have over $2 million now? I'm like, yeah, you do. If you want to truly be FIRE based on your investments. By the way, this guy actually focused on real estate investors with marketing for them, but he was doing all this money in the mutual funds. I'm like, dude, hello. You have people way richer than you doing cool stuff. But of course, he had a hard time believing. He's like, no, I don't want to believe that because I was so happy. I was so proud I got there. Nobody cares about how you feel. It's actually what actually does create the reality plus the feeling. The feeling is good, but you gotta have the reality to back it up. That's what I mean by financial independence. The cool thing is many of our clients actually became financially independent because they said, here's exactly what we are spending per month. This is what we need, passive income per month to do it. And it's not about like, I have X amount of dollars in the account and I should theoretically be able to pull out this much. Notice that these people that are FIRE aren't actually pulling money out. They're still packing money away. They can never stop. They can never really be financially independent. They have to just keep packing money away. Well, no, like I've got people there. Like I had a couple that actually had their own business and stuff. He quit his job. They went down to Cabo San Lucas, living there, living the expat life, doing that kind of thing, homeschooling their kids, living it because they got the passive income coming from the sale of their house and the money that they had, use that to create passive income. I've had other clients. I have one client that's just almost there right now, worked in Hollywood, despite the fact that they shut down Hollywood during 2020 and 2023. Still, despite all that, he still had income coming in the meantime to support him and his family. And then on top of that, now his assets have been growing. His $250,000 that he invested now has become almost $700,000, and it's generating almost $4,000 a month. And the cool thing is we actually looked at it and said, you know what, actually if we tweak this or sell this property, do this, we can actually make about $4,500 to $5,000 a month, which would actually get him financially independent, and he'd be retired early, about 50 years old, right? So there's so many different ways you can be doing it, but again, it requires the right strategy. That's why I use real estate, because it pays income right now. It's measurable, you see it. It's not like, oh, I got this much in my retirement accounts, which I can't touch till I'm 60 plus years old anyways. It got this much in these mutual funds, but really, I probably wouldn't live on that anyways, because what the market goes down, then I pull out money and the market goes down, then I lose all this money and I can't keep that sort of lifestyle going. No, you can't count on it. This is the one place that's actually worked. Now, if you want to learn about more financial independence, definitely subscribe to this channel, but also visit moneyripples.com. There's a passive income calculator that can show you how much passive income you could create in the next 12 months with your current situation. Go check that out at moneyripples.com now.